This week, back in the warm, we're thinking about Abraham's seed, number 6 in the series on the promised God's everlasting covenant. And we have to go back to the milieu of the Old Testament culture, the background, in terms of understanding what this really meant. To have a child to continue your name was supremely significant to those people in those times. And Abraham didn't have an heir. He had somebody else who he'd appointed as heir, but he didn't have a son to pass on. Not just his belongings, not just to fulfill that family name, but to have a presence still on the earth. That's really what they were thinking about. So Abraham's seed, his descendants, that's what Abraham really was looking for. Many of the other people of the Old Testament, same kind of idea. Go back and look at some of that biblical material. We're given Ezekiel, Deuteronomy, Jeremiah, Genesis, John, Galatians, Romans, Peter, all over the place, thinking about what it really means to be a child of someone before us. I value my heritage. It's a mixed one, English and Irish and so on. As I look back, I can see, insofar as I can trace it back, people, some now long gone, who I would like to have met, and obviously share some of that character and that trait. We are children of our forefathers, and as children of Abraham, now in a spiritual sense, as Paul describes it there, you read about it in his letters, particularly there in Romans, we are children of the promise, Abraham's seed. Now, what we also need to realize, and this came up in Jesus' time, people said to him, we are Abraham's children. That is our great hope, experience, blessing. That's our claim. We are children of Abraham. Primarily in an ethnic sense. This is our racial group and so on. And they sadly then excluded others. You remember the story of the Good Samaritan, illustrates the great gulf there was between the Jews and the Samaritans, because the Jews looked down on the Samaritans. We are the children of promise. We are Abraham's seed. We are Abraham's children. And in that conversation that Jesus had with them, recorded in John's Gospel, they claim this with great pride. And Jesus says, God can raise up children of Abraham from these stones if he wanted to. That's not the most important thing. And if you really were children of Abraham, you wouldn't be trying to kill me. You wouldn't try to be persecuted. You'd accept me, you'd value me, you'd listen to me, you'd follow me. But you don't, because you're not really children of Abraham. You're actually children of the devil. Wow, that was pretty pointed, wasn't it? Jesus is trying to make the point that ethnic heritage, our forefathers, don't make us savable in that sense. That's not something that can be transmitted down through the DNA. It's not genetic. Our relationship with God is a personal one. Yes, in the Old Testament, there was a collective aspect to it, the children of Israel. But they were not saved en masse. They still needed that personal relationship with God. And even more especially today, as children of Abraham, spiritually speaking, we need that same attitude that Abraham, he trusted God. And because he trusted God, he was considered as being right. That's what it says. Because God saw where he would be, where he would end up in the future. He not only was trying, he was being healed, he was being changed by God. So it wasn't any kind of imputed righteousness or whatever we want to talk about. He was saying, I know you, Abraham, and I recognize what you can be. God recognizes all that we can be as well. So as we think of Abraham's seed, may we truly represent the kind of person that Abraham was at the end, in trusting and believing in our loving Heavenly Father.